Have you ever watched an elephant move through the jungle? It is powerful. It is deliberate. It does not rush, nor does it yield its path easily for others. This is the image of India on the world stage today. A nation of over 1.4 billion people, an ancient civilization now reawakening as a modern global power. For decades, the world was viewed through the simple lens of a Cold War rivalry or a unipolar American dominance. But those days are fading. To understand India's present-day assertiveness, we must first journey back in time. When India gained its independence in 1947, it chose a path of non-alignment. Led by its first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, India refused to be drawn into the bipolar vortex of the Cold War. This decision was often misinterpreted in Washington as a pro-Soviet tilt. During the Cold War, the U.S. consistently armed and supported Pakistan as a bulwark against Soviet influence. This policy created deep-seated resentment in New Delhi. For India, the American weapons flowing into Pakistan were not seen as tools for containing communism, but as direct threats to its own national security. In 1998, when India conducted a series of nuclear tests, the U.S. responded with outrage and imposed harsh sanctions. From India's perspective, this was the ultimate hypocrisy. A lecture on nuclear responsibility from a nation with the world's largest arsenal, aimed at a country surrounded by two nuclear-armed neighbors. It was only in the 21st century, particularly with the signing of the U.S.-India Civil Nuclear Agreement in 2008, that the relationship truly began to transform. Yet, the echoes of the past remain. This history has instilled in the Indian establishment a core belief that India must always retain its strategic autonomy. Today, India's foreign policy can be summed up in two words: strategic autonomy. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It is the guiding principle behind every major decision made in New Delhi. It means India reserves the right to engage with all major powers without being locked into any single alliance. It is a pragmatic and flexible approach. In diplomacy, consider India's stance on the war in Ukraine. The United States and its allies moved swiftly to condemn and sanction Russia, but India has steadfastly refused to do so. It has called for a cessation of hostilities, yet it has not joined the Western chorus of condemnation. Russia remains a critical, time-tested partner, especially in defense. That independence is even more pronounced in defense procurement. India continues to purchase advanced Russian systems like the S-400 missile defense system, despite direct threats of U.S. sanctions. Washington warned, cajoled, and threatened. But New Delhi did not blink. India made clear its defense needs will be set by its own security assessments, not by American legislation. On trade, India's approach is similarly self-directed. It walked away from the massive RCEP trade pact dominated by China, because the terms weren't favorable to its industries and farmers. India purchases discounted Russian oil to manage inflation and protects its agricultural sector. Its economic decisions focus on the well-being of its people, not Western free market orthodoxies. India's foreign policy today is a masterclass in navigating a multipolar world. Think of it as a master juggler keeping several balls in the air, each representing a major global power. India is a key member of the Quad alongside the United States, Japan, and Australia, a grouping widely seen as a democratic counterweight to China's growing influence. At the very same time, India is also a leading member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a security bloc that includes China and Russia. This is not a contradiction, it is a strategy. By participating in both, India ensures it has a seat at every important table. Just look at India's relationships in the Middle East. It has cultivated deep ties with Israel, collaborating on defense and technology, while maintaining strong relationships with Arab nations crucial for energy security. It has also managed to maintain a working relationship with Iran, mainly because of its strategic importance for connectivity to Central Asia via the Chabahar port. Ultimately, this strategy is about creating options. By nurturing a diverse portfolio of international partnerships, India ensures it is never dependent on the whims of a single country. If relations cool with one power, it has strong ties with others to fall back on. It's a pragmatic and sophisticated foreign policy that recognizes the world as complex and interconnected. So why does India refuse to bow to U.S. demands? The answer lies in a convergence of three powerful forces: sovereignty, national interest, and growing confidence. First is the principle of sovereignty. For a nation that endured nearly 2 centuries of colonial rule, the ability to make its own decisions is a core part of its national identity. Second, India's decisions are a cold calculation of national interest. Take the purchase of Russian oil. When the West imposed a price cap, India bought crude at a discount, helping manage inflation. Similarly, the defense relationship with Russia is pragmatism, not ideology. Much of India's military hardware is Russian-made, critical for defense preparedness with an assertive China on the border. Third, India's firmness is fueled by newfound confidence. This is not the India of the 1990s. Today, it's the world's 5th largest economy and on track to be 3rd largest within a decade. It has a powerful military, a world-class tech sector, and a demographic dividend envied by aging nations. That strength gives New Delhi the confidence to say no. The US needs India as a partner in the Indo-Pacific to counter China's rise. That interdependence gives India leverage, letting it push back without fearing total rupture. This mix creates the unbending India we see today. It's not anti-American. It's pro-India. New Delhi views Washington as a partner of equals, not a patron-client dynamic. India's assertion of strategic autonomy is not just bilateral. It sends powerful ripples across the international system, accelerating the move to a multipolar world. India's example offers a blueprint for developing nations. Maintain good relations with competing blocs while prioritizing national interests, an attractive alternative to taking sides. India's stance forces Western powers to rethink diplomacy. The old model of sanctions and pressure is proving less effective, requiring genuine dialogue, mutual respect, and accommodation of India's strategic compulsions. A more balanced, multipolar world is likely more stable. A system with multiple centers where countries like India act as stabilizers and bridges is more flexible and adaptable to crises. More than 75 years ago, India's first leader spoke of a tryst with destiny. Today, India is making a new tryst, not just with its own destiny, but with the destiny of the world. The journey from a newly independent, impoverished nation to a confident global power has been long and arduous. But India has arrived. In this fluid environment, India offers a compelling vision, a democratic anchor in a turbulent world, a bridge between competing ideologies, a champion for the Global South's aspirations. Its foreign policy seeks partnerships, not allegiances. It offers cooperation, not compliance. Rooted in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. It seeks balance where all nations prosper together. For those in the West who feel frustration, a change in perspective is required. India's rise should be seen as an opportunity to be embraced. A strong, confident, independent India is a vital partner. The elephant will continue its steady, deliberate march, not because it is being led, but because it knows its own way through the jungle. This is India's new tryst with destiny, a journey that will not only redefine India itself, but will also reshape the world for generations to come.